Hey guys, this one has been a long time coming. I've been very patiently waiting. Almost everybody got this guy before me, and this is what I have been calling my swan song for Titan class. It is this big boy, of course. This is the new Earthrise Scorponok, and he's going to be our focus and everything to do with him in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. While you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, the Autobot Family, Transformers versus G.I. Joe versus DC Universe versus Marvel. And all my social media links, all of that's down in the description below. If you want to help the channel, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this is Titan Class Scorponok. What a beautiful beast. Is he perfect? Close on, but no, he's not quite perfect. There's a lot here to digest, but it's interesting also what's not here. I almost don't know where to begin with this guy. I think that what we will end up doing is kind of starting from the smallest, being the Titan Master, and comparing it to another Titan Master, going to the Deluxe, going to the Big Boy. We're going to compare him to all of the Titans that I have and kind of see where he fits in and what his mass is in relation to them. And we're going to dive into looking at my ultimate Decepticon base. We've done it with the Autobot base a bunch of times, but we haven't done it very often with the Decepticon base. Not since, I think, Trypticon in episode 300 or so. I've been waiting on this guy for a long time. So have a lot of people. Many have been waiting since the G1 days to have someone who can stand toe-to-toe with Fort Max, and this guy is about as close as we're gonna get. It's been a long time coming, but I feel so rewarded with him now, and I cannot wait to take a look at everything to do with him and see how it all works out. In fact, without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and do just that? And man, I have been waiting for years for this to finally happen. I've been saying all along that Scorponok is my swan song to Titan class, both for investment of funds and for space availability. For me, I did not bother to get Omega Supreme because I had Wei Jiang's Ultima Guard. I did not bother to get Predaking, but I have all of the other ones. And I didn't get the Predaking because it just felt too big for my personal collection and my taste. Not that it's bad, it was great. But I've been saying for a long time, look, give me the main Titans and I'm good. Some people have said, whoa, 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 what about Grand Max? I don't want a Titan Grand Max. I know that there's the Japanese version and that it exists, but I don't want that because by rights, he's supposed to be just slightly larger than God Ginrai and not really supposed to be the size of his big brother, Fort Max. So I kind of want a smaller version of that. And I don't really want a Titan Black Zarak, though using this mold would be great, obviously, for it, and I'm sure it will probably happen. I mean, all the signs point to it. But again, much like with Grand Max, Black Zarak was a smaller version of this body type, basically. And again, it wasn't in the North American fiction. I really don't have a tie to Black Zarak, so I'm kind of cool with having Scorponok or Mega Zarak, if you will. It works just fine for me. I love it. So I'm very happy with it. Some people have said, hey, GotBot, what if they do a Titan class tidal wave? I don't think he should be a Titan class. Maybe a Commander class, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form he should be a Titan class. He's a boat. This is a base or a city. No. It just doesn't work for my sensibilities. If it do for you, cool. And some people said, what about if they actually do the arc set as the next Titan? Cool, I guess, but it'd be a weird thing to have to display or store. If you have the space, excellent. Don't think I do. And for what these are kind of starting to cost around here, it's becoming hard to justify it, man. Now I got this guy for about $50 less than the going price. So that's how I sort of justified it to me. Nevertheless, I'm glad to have him. There's my kind of spiel as to why I plan for this guy, at least for now, to be my swan song. Could things change? Obviously. But like I feel good. I feel good about this. So before we get into him, let's kick things off with this packaging first. Okay, so we have a lot going on here on the package. We have Scorponok there, who definitely looks large, but I do wonder about the scale. Like, should Optimus be that big compared to him? In the distance, we have Bumblebee, and I want to say Prowl behind him. Way over there, it might not be Prowl, I really don't know for sure. We have Double Dealer coming in up here, whoever he's working for. Some people have pointed to the Ark down there saying, wow, the Ark is way smaller than Scorponok. First, the Ark should be. It's a ship, this is a base or city. But, if you will notice, Scorponok's actually on a bridge and the Ark is down below the bridge, so it's like a level or two lower. There's a blast coming here, and over here, just in the shadows, there's the just what you can tell is like the outline of Megatron's arm and fusion cannon. So this shot is coming from Megatron. Obviously, Decepticon symbol up on the top, and over here we have all of the images on the back. Interestingly, the green here is a deeper green than we actually got, and the purple is a more vibrant purple, I suppose. This is cool coloring, but when I saw it, I said, that's excellent, but I feel like the shades should be a little different. And indeed, what we got, the shades are a little different, and I would argue that the shades that we got are actually more correct. And our boy comes with 3 blast effects pieces. They can plug into each other, of course. I think this might be the same sort of ones that came with, I don't know, Jetfire or Skylinks maybe. I don't know, like I feel like I've seen these before, but it's cool to have more of these. I like more of these, and the last 2 in particular, because they're more like impact blast effects, and we don't have a lot of them. We have a huge set of instructions, as you would expect with the Titan. Over here we have stats again. I mean, I don't know what they are, but I mean, it's Scorponok. He's gonna be pretty formidable, you know? And then we have a massive piece of the puzzle. And this one's kind of interesting. Up here, this, of course, is Unicron, and that's what the decoder tells us. Then we have down here we have Space Bridge, and then Ark, and then Nemesis, and then the Quintesson, and then Fool's Fortune, which I think is a very interesting one to have at the end, and I'm not honestly sure what it means. If somebody knows, cool. And before we can go big, real big, we need to start small. Here we have the Titan Master of Lord Zarak. Of course, this isn't the first time that we've had a Titan Master, technically, of this character, because in the Titans Return line, in one of the box sets, we had a Titan Master of Scorponok, which we all knew was Zarak. In fact, that Titan Master had a die-cast face, and it's the one that I've used as Zarak so far in Universal Collision. But, undoubtedly, the new one is more accurate to what we know as the animation from the Rebirth episode. It looks more like Zarak with his red visor. I think the purple is a more correct shade of purple than the bright purple that's on the like odd Scorponok Titan Master. They move exactly the same. They can get in a seated position and the arms can move out a bit. The newer version, the one that comes with Scorponok, is easier to move. His arms are easier to move. He's easier to get into a seated position. The one with the die cast is harder to move, especially his arms, especially the right arm, and it's a little more challenging to get him into seated position. Plus, he is so heavy that he likes to fall over. The new one stands like a champ. Again, these are Titan Masters. I mean, there are 2 or 3. They're nothing to write home about and get excited about. To transform them, you just put the arms down by the side and you fold them over. And in this case, we end up with 2 distinctly different heads. One obviously looks like the face of Scorponok himself. The other still looks like Zarak, but not Zarak as he appeared in the Rebirth. No, with the 2 separate eyes and kind of the shape of this face, this is more like the, I guess, the version from Japan. Now what's fun is that some people have said the little Titan Master is Lord Zarak. When he connects to the bigger deluxe size body, that's more like Mega Zarak, and then Mega Zarak becomes the head of Scorponok. I like that. I like that sort of logic being applied, because it really kind of clears up disparity and a mess between naming, because by right, the little, I guess, Titan Master, whatever you want to call it, should be Scorponok. The deluxe body should be Scorponok. And then the head that would go on the big Transtector body would be Mega Zarak, if you follow the Japanese fiction. For me, for the purposes of this review, I'm going to say that the little Titan Master is Lord Zarak, the deluxe is Mega Zarak, and the big bot is Scorponok. Just makes it easier. Stick with me as we go through. But here are the two distinct faces. For another comparison, here's Scorponok's face and, well, Scorponok's face. And speaking of Scorponok's face, this is going to become a body. I like this. I wonder if the silver should have actually been silver. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like the silver should be not quite silver. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I guess it's correct, but as you know, as a lad, I more thought of his face as white. But you know what? I guess the silver is kind of correct. You can lift this piece up. We all know this by now. And underneath, we actually have eyes, separate eyes that are more, and they're painted, which is beautiful, that are more like the eyes of the Japanese face sculpt. This visor piece has a screw in it. If you want, you could loosen the screw and probably be able to rotate this visor up and the way up under the head. Or you could take it off altogether if you prefer the separate green eyes. Nevertheless, at this point, we have a rather nice head. Underneath, this is the way the connection is. We would put the head in here and like just sort of, I guess, leave it, you know, at the moment, so to speak. This will become the chest and whatnot for the deluxe robot mode. In terms of doing this, I loosen everything up there first. I'm going to back this up because, of course, now this guy's going to get bigger. There we go. So with this picked off, we can kind of come here and we should be able to detach the chest piece and straighten out the legs and stand the guy up. We're going to put these pieces up, and then we should be able to lift this out to the side and up, and again kind of detach this and lift that shoulder out and up, bring down the arm and open that up, bring the chest down, and these pieces can actually come off if you don't want them left on there. He can hold them in his hand. You can leave them on there if you want, and you can put a head in place. Oh, wait, that's the earlier Scorponok head. Oh, my mistake, but you can see how it looks. And if you want, of course, you can take that out and put the proper head in there. Fits very nicely, actually. These can go in his hands as blasters of some sort, melee claws of some sort, but they can store on the larger Scorponok body if you don't want them hanging off the arms. But in the end, here we have who I'm calling Mega Zarak. Okay, in the last two parts here, we flip that piece down, and then on the back, where we lifted this whole piece off, we can bring it up on his back and kind of make that go in there like that. And in the end, this is who I'm calling Mega Zarak, and I like the way that this looks. I wish that these pieces weren't on his arms, but I understand why they're there. I am very comfortable calling this dude Mega Zarak because this looks more like the Japanese iteration of Lord Zarak. I dig it. I absolutely dig it. The arms, they can go all the way around out to the side. You know, again, because of this, like, it's a bit limited out to the side. We do have a bicep swivel, but the thing here on the side, again, affects that. We don't have a wrist swivel, but the wrist can go in. Oh, we do have a waist. Look at that. I did not know we had a waist. Out to the side, he can do the splits all day long. He can go all the way forward. He can go back a bit. I mean, enough. Thigh swivel. Knee to 90 degrees. And does he have a... He does have ankle tilt. So he has a lot of what you would honestly want him to have. I think that for looks, he's a 10. I think the Titan Master for looks was a 10. I think that The transformation to get here is pretty easy for the most part. I'm going to give it a 10. I'm going to also say that the articulation is, I'm going to say it's a 9. The only reason I'm saying it's a 9 is because these pieces on the fore or on the upper arms do like slightly cause a little range of motion hindrance with the shoulder. You could probably work around it. It still goes out a lot, but it is a minor one. Actually, I'm going to say 9.75. So we're having a guy here that is doing very, very well so far. There are no stickers with this set or anything. He's a little bit bare, but arguably that's accurate, so I let it pass. I like the look of it. I absolutely like the look of it. Great start. In terms of his size, I don't actually have anything here to kind of compare him to because I'm more worried about Scorponok, but he is a solid deluxe. He's about the same size as like Impactor Ironhide from the Siege line. And if you want to kind of compare him next to Cerebros, Cerebros is bigger than this guy. Okay, baby, now we're going even bigger. He's headless at the moment, but I wanted to show this because you'll notice up on the back, we actually have storage there and on the other side for those like orange antenna pieces from the head. And now we've got him turned around. I will note that there are certain accessories that come in the box, but they're already on him. These are separate pieces. They have 5mm pegs and ports. They can go kind of anywhere. This is his shield. Again, it came kind of put together, so I just put it on his arm. We'll see it incorporated as we go through. We also have pieces here on the side. They form, I guess, the buildings basically, but for now they kind of just stay there. And we have a neck piece. A lot of people say the neck piece is really loose. Mine is actually pretty snug, and we finally take the head. I have our Mega Zarak put back in that mode, and I put the head back on, and this is Scorponok in all of his gigantic glory. We're going to see some comparisons with the other Titans in just a little bit, but first things first, in terms of the coloration, look, the bottom line is this. When I think of Scorponok, this is what I think of. And we had the G1 that was never quite big enough. Then we had the little Titan Master that I showed with the diecast. We did have a third, like an officially licensed third-party, mega action, super expensive, non-transforming version of this guy that looked great. But for 35, 36 years, whatever it's been now, we've really been waiting for a version of this guy that can kind of scale up and stand pretty much toe-to-toe with Fort Max. And we finally got it. And of course he transforms naturally. I think the look of this screams Scorponok, even though it's elements of the like G1 Rebirth cartoon. There's elements of his Japanese look, and there's elements of the way he was originally cast in plastic. So all of that comes together, I think, very nicely. I think the shade of green is correct. I think the shade of purple is correct. I'm going to give it a 10. It's quintessentially Scorponok. Would it be nice if we had Fast Track come with him? Yes, but at least we know we're getting him later on. And while some might say that it's a little bit scant in terms of the number of accessories we get, yeah, you're kind of right, I agree, but there's a lot of tooling and stuff here, man. This guy is a hefty, beefy boy, and the engineering was done really well. Couple of things also to note, the backpack piece. That was not on out of package. You do need to put it on. It's very simple. It's just a couple of mushroom pegs and they go in no problem. When you bring this up on his back, it's interesting to note, and I guess I'll turn this now so that I can sort of address it. It's interesting to note that it really kind of connects like a couple of ways. It connects down here on a couple of, there's a couple of little rectangular slots that go into like bigger rectangular pegs there. This whole piece can come down. I think it's just this piece that's not attached. I think it's just this piece that's not attached that you need to attach to this like panel, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. And then here we have a couple of little notches here that go into a couple of little notches up here. So it's actually held in quite securely there, and then when you bring this up, it actually tabs in quite securely down there, and the backpack is very clean. Turning him back around, you're a heavy boy. I'll tell you this, in Scorpion mode, he's a fine Scorpion. We'll see that as time goes. In base mode, I mean, it's a base. It doesn't really need to move. In this mode, what can the guy do? Well, in this mode, if you want, these can move because they're just pegged in. The head can go left and right. It doesn't go up or down. The arms can go, just want to hold him securely, around on I'm going to say a soft, it's a heavy ratchet, but a soft ratchet. Now, interestingly, when you put it up like this, it's like it angles in, and that's strange, but I mean, the whole arm can go out, so you can certainly make it look like a normal arm anyway. It goes all the way around, it goes all the way out to the side. Again, heavy ratchet, but like a soft ratchet. It's quite nice. Clicky ratchet at the elbow for, just above the elbow, I guess, for the bicep swivel. 90 degrees at the elbow. This claw can open all the way in and close up. These ones here, I wish they could, I'm just going to take that out. I wish this could go out more. It can go in more. Like, we do have a movement here, and it's molded. It's a bit of molded stuff here that I like. And we do have two claws that are independently articulated. But I feel like I wish this could straighten out a little bit. Very, very minor gripe. I guess I'll point this out now. On his arm here, we do have like two pegs right there, or two peg holes. His shield has two pegs right here. So really what you're doing to attach this when you do it is you're just pegging it into both of those holes. Pretty easy, pretty simple to get on and off. Then we have, I guess I should show this first. We have a waist and we have hips well out to the side and like strong ratchets, like it's not falling. But like they're not so strong that you can't move them. So well done, very much the quality that we had with Omega Supreme, who was also done very, very well. We have a, putting his arm down I guess, we have a leg that can go all the way forward, same thing, it holds. All the way back, same thing, it holds. We have a thigh swivel, and then we have, like, come on! Like, look at that knee. I mean, I get that it's kind of for transformation, but man, good night. That is amazing to me. Really, really amazing to me. We stand that up, and, oh, man, it's heavy. Very, very heavy. And last but not least, we have an ankle tilt to the side. I do wish, and I guess we have toe tilt because of transformation, but I do wish that the feet could move forward and back. But we don't have that. Like, I find myself wanting to move the feet forward and back sometimes, but I can't do it, of course. So, as it stands, like, I think the articulation is pretty much everything you could want. I wish you could look down, and I wish that he had a forward and back on the ankle. Otherwise, he's pretty fantastic. I'm going to say his articulation is a solid 9.5. I suppose I should straighten that up. Yeah, so I mean, solid 9.5. The look is a 10, 9.75. I mean, come on, what more honestly could you ask for? Well, we're gonna do the transformation next. We're gonna go Scorpion mode, and we're going to go base mode. And in fact, after we get him in base mode, we're gonna see him with Trypticon and some of the other Decepticon bases, and have a look at like the current state of my ultimate Decepticon base. But for now, before we do that, let's see him with the other Titans. Here he is next to his arch nemesis, that being Fortress Maximus. Fort Max still a little bit bigger. I find on camera he looks significantly bigger, but in hand when you look at them live, they're pretty close in scale. Scorponok ever so slightly smaller. A lot of people have wondered if the heads are interchangeable. Look, the Scorponok head can kind of lay in place on Fort Max, but the Fort Max head can't really fit on the Scorponok body. Why you'd want to change them around necessarily, I don't know, but it kind of doesn't really work. Would it be nice if Scorponok had a couple more inches of height? Yes, but this is definitely in the ballpark of these two being able to compete with one another. I wanted to show this specifically, as well as this comparison specifically. Scorponok is a little bit bigger than Trypticon, not a lot, but just a little bit bigger, a couple of inches, and I think that makes sense. I think Scorponok should be a little bit bigger than Trypticon. But, of course, at the end of the day, this is what makes me happy. These are my Titans, these are my boys, and these are the only ones that make sense to me. Even a couple of these are arguable. The lightest and smallest is Devastator, as I think he should be. He's not acidic and stuff, so like I think he should be smaller. He's definitely the lightest. Then the next lightest is actually Metroplex, though when I actually weighed Metroplex, he came in at a few pounds heavier. Now, that being said, he has, you know, an extra blaster that I found for him. He has 6 gun on him. He has Iron Factory's turrets manacle on him. So like he has extra parts that kind of add to his mass. Then we have kind of at a tie for mass, we have Fortress Maximus and Trypticon, who are in the same ballpark as Scorponok. So though Scorponok doesn't have as many like add-on parts and accessories, he is still bulky and hefty and one of the heavier offerings. The heaviest offering is Wei Jiang's Ultima Guard. A few pounds heavier than all of them, but honestly, from the official ones I have here, and I know that the Predaking is about the same weight, mass, as Devastator, I can honestly say that Scorponok is one of, if not the heaviest of the Titans, even if he's not the tallest. And now that we've gotten through all the comparisons, we know the guy's currently getting a 9.75. He's doing super well. We can get into the transformations finally. So we're going to begin by actually taking that off of his shoulder, and we're going to lay it aside, as well as this. For the record, the guy's covered in ports and pegs that you can use to attach other like weaponizers and stuff like that. So though there's not a lot that comes with him, there's a lot of interactivity that could be added to here. We're going to begin by basically taking that arm up over. We're going to take the entire head mechanism and the neck piece. My neck piece luckily stays in, a lot of people's pops out. We're going to turn it around, and we're going to get the arm up on the other side over here and get it out, and kind of angled like that is probably the easiest way to do things. I know that that's gone off naturally. The guy is gigantic, you know. We're going to do the best we can here, right? We're going to fold in the toe pieces. For the record, if you wanted to take Zarak out of there is a location where you can put him. Like, we can open up this piece, is it? I think. I'm just trying to remember now how this goes. Yeah, you can open up that, and like there's a little place in here, and there's an opening up right here. Like you could put Zarak right here and then close it down over, and he's kind of piloting the whole thing. I just have him left in there. I'm not interested in doing all of that. We unpeg the tail piece from the back. Why not? We might as well. We're going to have to bring out the scorpion legs and bring out the scorpion legs. We'll just leave them to the side for now. We're going to, actually I'm going to, I guess, hold that up. And we're going to rotate the guy around at the waist, straighten out those legs. We're going to put this down. Okay. Straighten out the thighs here. And we will close this down, and we should be able to close this one down as well. There. So far, so good. We're going to come here and open this up and put the foot up and bring this back down and close it over. And then this whole knee bends up. It bends at the bottom hinge. It's a double jointed knee. It bends at the bottom hinge here to bring it up over the back. We're going to do the same with the other side, and then we're going to lay him down. Okay, so once we have him down, we straighten out the panel underneath, and we kind of angle it up and bring it out to the back. And really what we're doing is here on the knees, there's two little rectangular notches. And these two rectangular tabs that I talked about earlier actually notch into there. And should, if I can do this, it should go like that. These are slight nuisance, I find, to tab in, to be honest with you. I don't usually find them to be this much of a nuisance though. There. Yeesh. Okay. Honestly, that looked harder than it actually is. I assume it's just not being cooperative because I'm doing it on camera. Yes, it's a bit of a nuisance to line it up, but not that much of a nuisance. We take this piece and we fold it down, and then we fold out this entire piece. We fold out this entire piece, and we fold out this entire piece, so that in the end we have Scorponok in his scorpion mode. And I don't care what anybody says, this looks amazing. This is quintessentially Scorponok. Love it. As soon as Starscream wife saw it, she said, okay, that's really cool. In terms of his articulation, well, this can go back and forth, and it can go like this, and you can put a blast effect up here like he's firing. A lot of people have said that they wish that this went further up over his back. I guess I get that, and I suppose you could get some sort of an extension piece, maybe one more piece that could flip out or something, but like, no, this seems fine to me. This doesn't move really anymore unless you untab it. The legs, like, they each have a hinge joint right there. They can all go out at this joint. They can all straighten out from in here. However, the back two legs and the front two legs are together at this joint. So like, this leg can kick up by itself, but it can't kick all the way up without taking this one with it because it's connected right there. It's a bit of a weird choice, but like, honestly, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, how often are you just going to be moving one leg anyway, you know? In terms of his claws, he retains all of the motion that his arms did. The shoulders can move up and down. They can move in and out. They can still rotate. The claws can move, so you have all of the arm mobility still there. And because of some rollers, this actually can roll, which definitely helps with movement options. If you want to pick it up, there's actually an opening underneath now where the legs were that you can just put your hand in, and it's great if you want to open this up from in there. I don't think you can do it now. Well, yeah, you can. Look at that. If you want to put Zarak in there, you can go for it. Bring this back down. Just get in over the feet. And like this, I think this works. This is a Scorpion. I love it. Boom. Okay, on to the last mode. I would say getting to this mode, for the record, the transformation's a solid 9. Honestly, even back here, that was my own stumbling rather than any fault of the transformation or anything. So it's a solid 9 for sure. To go to the base mode, I'm gonna get that chair out of the way. I'm gonna get in here and try and do this. So we're gonna close this up and bring this all the way down around, and then this out. This is going to be a major component. We have to come here on the side. Oh, by the way, I did forget to do one thing, I suppose. You're supposed to take these and put them back in up here in Scorpion mode. I forgot to do that, and like put it there, and like this would still be here, or this would still be here like this. It's on over 4 pegs here. There's 4 holes right there. So like, that's how this would by rights have looked, but I missed it. In terms of this thing, could it store in Scorpion mode? I guess I should address that now too. We do have 2 peg holes down underneath here. They're the holes that I showed you with the earpieces, those orange earpieces. They're down there, so you could take this if you wanted, and basically you would slot it in underneath right there, and you know, bring this up, and this would have just been sticking out the back, right? Great storage for it. I'm sorry that I kind of neglected them couple of parts, but there's a lot here to cover, man. We take these out. I'm going to fold these up for now. And we're going to straighten this leg up, and we're going to straighten this leg up. We're also going to straighten out the legs there and straighten out the legs there. Now, with these legs up, you're going to basically have this guy do the splits, where the leg's going to come out all the way to the side and out, and do it all the way to the side. We are also going to take that off, and we're going to bring up this arm and straighten it in and turn it this way. We're going to bring up this arm and again straighten it in and turn it this way. And now we're going to adjust things, because this is getting to be kind of a weird shape and a weird angle to do this. Okay, so we have the guy now turned around, and we know that these will eventually be like where the buildings are. This whole piece and the legs are worth noting how they're done right now. The the hinge for the thigh or the hip stays like this. All of this detailing will go down on the bottom. And this here will open out from the side and come down on the front. Just like that, with this piece, which is really the bottom of Scorponok's foot, coming out and down on the side. Oh, I have to take this off of here too. There. That's how a leg is done. The other leg is the exact same thing. We take it, we turn it, we open this out, and we bring down that ramp on the other side. And we bring down this, and we bring down this. This now comes up and pegs in. There's a slot right here. There's a peg right here that goes into that slot right there. Very securely once you get it there. And now we have the big ramp done, but we're not done yet, because we still need to deal with the chest and here. The chest section here opens up. You can open this section up if you want. And, oh, I just took that out. Oh no, I'll have to put it back in, because I started to open it the wrong way. I'll just peg it in here. There's a big space in here. You can take off the scorpion head if you want, or the, you know, the head unit, and you can fit it down in here if you're so inclined. See, it goes down right there, and then you can close that back down. Now we can come with our shield piece, and using these two peg holes right here, we should be able to fit that on right there. And then over here is where things get interesting. We take our blaster, and using the two slots on the top, we put the building piece in there, and we do the same for this side. The angled side should be what's out here. And then basically we will line things up with the pegs and ports that are here in order to put that on like that, and we'll do the same on the other side. If I can line it up like thus. And then there's two little pegs there that a Titan Master can fit on to stand up, and that's where we will put Lord Zarak himself. And at the end of the day, boom, here we have Scorponok in his mammoth base mode. And man, is this thing amazing. Now I do wish on the ramp on the front that the kind of bluish tealy metallic color went all the way down the ramp instead of it just being like a gray piece. You'll notice that we don't really have any blasters, like there's no armament here, which is weird for a base, weird for Scorponok. but I think it's the only one of these bases that doesn't have any armament in base mode. Now, there's a ton of ports on it, like I told you before. So once you get like Fast Track, for example, I'm sure that his bits and pieces will be able to incorporate on Scorponok, no problem. And that's going to give us our bits and pieces. But like we have buildings, we have nice paint, we have the look of what his G1 base mode should be. The spirit of the thing is definitely here. I put the legs down straight. I guess you can bend them up if you're so inclined. The ramps have the connection pieces, so you can connect them with like Grease Pit or whoever you want. Speaking of which, as impressive as this is, and by the way, it's easy to get here too. The transformation here is a 10, so we had a 9 for the transformation getting to Scorpion mode. We had a 10 for the transformation getting here. That's a 9.5. He was already getting a 9.5. Easily, Scorponok is a 9.5. He's not perfect, but he's pretty darn close. Now, the last thing to do to take us out of here is we're going to kind of leave the confines of the table here, and we're going to see this guy with Trypticon and the other Decepticons as some form, as it currently stands, of my ultimate Decepticon base. I mean, if we just look at this, we have Sky Shadow or Black Shadow, if you will. You have Overlord, who could be a base. Of course, you have Trypticon. On the opposite side, we have Six Shot. We have the pieces that come with Siege, Shockwave, and of course, we do have Astro Train there. But that's about it. Oh, and we do have Grease Pit up there attached to Scorponok. But that's about it. Couple of ones are up and coming. I did say that I would show you a difference with Astro Train, so it's only fair that I do that. There you go. So I took the Astro Train that was over here out of it, and I put the Siege one up there attached to Scorponok. It's an impressive base. For 2 Titans and only a couple of base formers, this is impressive. Like, it looks sprawling. It looks like it could be lived in. It looks like it, you know, has a lot going on. It looks like it has a lot of spires and buildings and roads, and it fills the bill. I'm super duper happy with this. I really, really am. I do think that Scorponok is fantastic. I think the coloration is excellent. I think that the articulation is pretty much second to none. I mean, a couple of things would be nice, like a forward-backward motion for the ankle. I do feel like I want to push a couple of the claws back open further than what they can. But that's about it, honestly. And the transformations are not hard. Generally, they're pretty intuitive. I think he's a success across the board. And this is something I've been waiting for now for years. And I do feel very, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess rewarded for kind of waiting and giving time for a good quality offering of both Trypticon, because I like Trypticon, though a lot of people don't, but most especially Scorponok to finally come. Is this duo going to be for everybody? No. But for the collectors that have collections that these Titans fit, I think you're going to be extremely, extremely happy with the addition of Scorponok to your collection. I know, I certainly am. And here we are, man, once again, and here he is back in his robotic glory. Look, the base mode is the base mode. It was never the strongest of the base modes, but they do what they can here to make this guy feel bigger than what he is, and it works. He feels substantial. He feels lived in, if that makes sense. His Scorpion mode is as formidable as you would expect a gigantic Scorpion to be. I love the way it worked out. I love the articulation for the guy. I love the shade of green and purple that were used here. I even think on the little Titan Master, it looks more like Lord Zarak. If you want to take off the visor, you have that option if you want to take off the screw or loosen the screw. It's not for me. This is my idea of this guy. I realize that there are like a number of things coming together here from the original plastic representation to the Japanese version to the Rebirth version, but it all comes together so nicely to give us a quintessential version of Scorponok. I feel like that this fits the bill even better than that mega action third-party officially licensed non-transforming thing did, and a lot of people said that that fit the bill well. In fact, a lot of people tried to mimic his alt modes. This one actually pulls them off, and pulls them off quite well. No stickers, not as many accessories, but most of it is built in. And the accessories that we have, like these shoulder pieces, his shield, they make sense. Like, they make absolute sense. We don't have stickers, but we have nice paint detail. Could you put more detail on it? Sure you could, and I'm sure that something like Toy Hacks probably will, but I love the way that this guy turned out, and I love how compact the backpack is. I mean, you weren't going to get away from it, but I think it worked out quite well. Love this guy. Very happy with him. Very happy for him to kind of be a swan song. Will my mind change over time? Who knows? But it's not what I'm anticipating. It's really, really not. I'm so happy to finally have this guy, and I think he turned out so very, very well. Perfect? Not quite. Like I said, I'd like for these to be able to go out a little bit further, but he's pretty close on it, man. And he holds a pose very well. I didn't show it in the review, but I can guarantee you he can stand on one foot. Let me know what you think about the mighty Scorponok. Maybe a couple inches in height would have been nice too. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time, man. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donate link in the description. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. Don't forget, man, that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.